Hey, Routine Chaos and Reviews back at you. How you doing, everybody? So, as promised in the last video, we're going to look at the Horton's Welder Series Mustang 2 front end. I have some of the pieces laid out here on the table. I'm going to show you right now, and I'm going to show you some of the instructions, and then we're going to get at it, and we're going to start welding up this front cross member. So right here are some of the pieces I laid out on a table. So this is the Paul Horton's Welder Series. Basically, this is a Mustang 2 front end that you actually weld together yourself. They sell a lot of brands out there, like on eBay or wherever you want to find them, and they're all kind of put together. But this one I found online, and you weld it all yourself, and then you install it yourself, and yeah. So like I said, I'm going to go back to the manual here, and I'm going to show you the instructions, and we're going to walk right through this together. All right, like I said, Paul Horton's Welder Series assembly instructions. So we're going to jump in here. Crossmember plates in both kits are identical, only the upper towers change. So this shows it for either coil springs or if you have shock waves, which are the coilovers. So we have, I opted for the coil mount, or the coil springs, I should say. All right, lower arm mounting holes. Lower arms, see, sleeved, stock type. Arms, half-inch bolts are used. So that's just saying that I need to use sleeves across the cross member if I'm going to use the half-inch holes. The holes are actually cut out, it says, to, I want to say 5/8. Mounting holes are 5/8 diameter to accommodate for larger bolts. Used in aftermarket lower A-arms. Holes must be sleeved if stock type lower arms with half-inch bolts are used. Alright, this is not for us because I'm not using shock waves. Alrighty, we're going to move to page 3. Or 4, I should say. Assembling the cross member. Alright, clamp the pictured rear top rack mount cross member plate to a bench as shown in the slotted rack mount. Must be on the left side. So there's the slotted piece. So as you can see, this actually came pre-bent. I didn't have to bend any of this. So I think I'm just going to have to slap it together and weld it up. Okay, with the slotted rack mount on your left, bend down. So that would basically be like, if it was like that, with the slotted piece down. So that's going to go over here. And I'm going to flip this over because it only makes sense. That's going to have to go like that. This is going to go like this. And I mean, honestly, as simple as that is, that's all we have to do. I'm going to clamp it together in a few minutes here, and that's going to be the cross member for my Mustang 2 chassis. Well, the Mustang, I should say, this is going to be the cross member for my Mustang 2 suspension. But like I said, it walks you through on how to do it if it wasn't pre-bent. Tweak to get the two surfaces to 90 degrees. Clamp and fold the front bottom plate without the rack mounts to 90 degrees. This plate has no specific driver passenger orientation. That's the two cross members plates as shown, which I just did. Weld edges be inside corner to inside corner for a great welding setup. Shift the two cross member pieces left to right so the space between the alignment tabs is the same on the driver and the passenger side. All right, so basically I just have to get that to be 90. It should be all 90 degrees because it's all pre-bent, but I'll just double check it. All right, so once I weld it all up, clamp, tack, and weld all 4 corners of the cross member. Use good technique to avoid twist. Remember to weld under the rack mounts and to wrap around the ends of the corners. And then we'll end up... So this has the mounting brackets. These are the mounting brackets for the steering, power steering rack. So once I weld up everything, I will have to bend these down and then weld them up against the new cross member. All right, let's get into this. That's good. These welds are looking good. Got some good penetration going. I don't know what the way I was doing that. So I'm trying to move around so I don't get too much heat in one spot. Not the prettiest, but I will fix some of it. And we're off to a running start, welding up this cross member. Alright, so the next thing we have to do is I have to bend these tabs up into place and then weld these up against the frame. That one's good. There we go. That's just at 90 degrees. Then, the interesting part should be bending this one There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Bend this side up first. Now, I'll clamp that as best as I can and weld that. So I've got that clamped up. So now I'm going to go and weld this all together, because these are going to be the tabs that hold the front of the power steering rack. That's going to be the front. Hey guys, now we are going to be assembling the towers for the stock style springs. So you have the cup or the cone and what it mounts through. As you can see here, it says to get some 1/2 inch spacers. So it's a 1/2 inch up, and that's how you know what to weld or where to weld it. So as you can see, I got spacers under there, and it's set at the perfect height. Assembling the towers for stock style springs. 2.1. Put the shock cone on the bench with 1/2 inch high spacers on each side of it. Put the top plate over the cone. Clamp it to the bench as shown. The 1/2 inch section of the cone under the top plate will center the coil spring. Weld the cone to the top plate. This weld should be on top of the plate so the spring can sit flat against the underside of the top plate. Tack the bottom plate to the corners of the top plate and the tower corners. This is the important reference. The tabs only hold 2 parts corner to corner for welding. Alright. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to weld these 2 up, and then we'll move on to the second half of that. Well, nothing like running out of argon mix for the MIG welder. I just had to run out and grab another bottle because ran out. Luckily, they were still open. Now I can continue welding. All right. I like that. All right, one done. Now I ran out of welding wire. Go figure. Of course. So now I gotta stop and go buy welding wire. Alright, so I'm back. These gloves were on sale too, so I figured I'd get some new gloves because, as you could see, probably is the ones that I'm using are horrible. Yeah, these are titanium. The Harbor Freight titanium gloves. They're like $8.99 or $8. So I really only use the left one because I hold the pieces normally. Pretty nice. They go all the way up your arm. So the titanium gloves, they're on, I think they're on sale. Well, they are on sale, so might want to check those out. Maybe I'll do a little short just to let people know that they're on sale, because like I said, they seem to be pretty good. I like them. They're leather. They seem to be pretty decent, the titanium gloves. All right, let's get this thing welded up so I can have some steak dips. Amazing when you have everything how quickly it'll go. Alright, so guys, this is the next part of the spring perches, the upper spring perches. So now that the top part is on, now we're going to, I'm going to use this clamp actually. I'm going to clamp this together. Bring this in a little bit. So the most important thing they say is these top pieces, they want them to line up perfectly. So I'm just going to get everything tacked in and then I'll burn it in. That's that. One down, one to go. All right, that's that. It's good penetration. Alright guys, I'll be back. Hey guys, so as you can tell, I'm not sitting in front of my garage anymore because all the welding's done and I figured I'd take off for the weekend. Jess and I and the boys came up to the lake for the weekend. So the next video, I am going to probably end up showing you guys me installing the stuff that I just welded and putting that into the frame, the new suspension. I hope it goes well. I'll do my best. And I hope you guys find me entertaining. I'm doing my best. So you guys have a great one, and we'll talk soon. And thank you for watching. Happy.